Okay. Okay. That should be fine. All right, cool. Um, yeah, let's go. All right, Monkey, you're here. All right, bad. Yeah, we can just go get started. Um, so I'll just start with asking you this, Frosty.
Hold on, wait. Can we agree to a couple of things?
Sure, go ahead.
So what translation are we using?
Um, uh,
Like Viz, TCB, or like when we get into the debate
I
where
guess
like
this
the
works.
side
This
or just Viz? Okay. And then what was my second question? Do you think Choso got stronger from Shibuya to what is it called?
uh,
Whatever arc you're using? I don't remember.
I don't know why the dumbest thing Infinity is up. Okay. Yeah. Do I think he got stronger? I'm not sure, but we see like a change in the way he uses piercing blood.
All right, we can just talk about that. All right, you can start.
Yeah. So I don't want to like go over that first. I want to go over this first. What do you think the soul is in JJK?
I don't know.
Okay, so the way Mahito explains it, he kind of says, okay, the body's contingent on your soul, and we see every time Mahito gets like a power up, he directly correlates it to his soul, or like whenever he's weakened, he says, okay, my soul's at a certain percent. And then further corroborated when Geto himself, like Injaku, says, the body and the soul are more of the same. So I think it's within reason for us to say that strength of your body being contingent on the strength of your soul, it's just logical and makes sense.
Uh, I don't know about the. You sure what you're
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah, I'll send the scans.
Actually, can I ask you a question? The 120% thing in Shibuya in the fucking three-way fight. Like, you think it's talking about power?
Uh, the 120%. It's verbatim to potential,
Yeah,
no?
because the reason I'm bringing that up is because in that fight it stated that Mahito's soul or like Yuji's soul, somebody's soul in there is like 10%, but they brought out 120% of their power or potential, whatever the fuck is that.
Yeah,
So
brought out
I
in
think that
past
would just go
tense.
against what you're saying.
Yeah,
You
brought out
said
in
what?
past tense. Brought out in past tense, and I think that could just be like within the realms of the power they can access, because that's still like the potential within that realm. I don't see a contradiction there.
What do you mean?
Okay, so it could just be 120%
And
off 40%.
it can be 120% of 40%.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
So you know how the percentages work, right?
I think not in the way that you're talking.
Okay. So 120% of your 100% would be you exceeding your potential of your full power. Now, if you're at a 40%, let's just say like your strength at your full power is X, right?
Uh
Now
huh.
X in this case is 40 instead of 100 because he's weakened. He can still be going at a 120% potential of this X, which is his 40 level of power, but it doesn't have to mean that he's now at full power. Those are contradictory.
Are you saying that since 40 is like his limit, the 40 would be his 100%, and then etc. That the shit you
No,
added on?
no. I mean, within that context, that is the level of power that I think he's improving upon, which makes sense because he uses Black Flash. So that's what's in reference. Like the 120% potential thing is just in reference to Black Flash because the 1.2 amp.
Uh, but so do you think it's his power or not?
What do you mean? Like what specifically?
When it says it's bringing out 120% of its potential.
Um, yeah, that's an increase in his power. Not at that
Okay,
moment,
and
but I think there's
then
been a moment. Hold on one sec. I think there's been a point in that fight where they have brought that out. I don't think in
yeah,
this moment they're all operating
that's
at
what I was
that.
about to ask. Yeah, when do you think they brought it out? Because the statement of
Black Flash.
10% is like a second before the 120% thing.
Yeah. In they both all of these characters use Black Flash in the fight, and right after Todo uses Black Flash, then they make the statement. So it just be in reference to like when it could just be in reference to whenever they use the Black Flash, and that makes the most sense.
So you're saying, let me check. Do we know what soul like percentage Mahito's at before the Black Flash or no?
Huh?
Do we know what soul percentage Mahito is at
He doesn't
before the
have a
Black Flash?
numerical value, but we know he's weakened.
No, he's weekend. Okay.
He says no bra took a lot out of him. So,
Yeah, he said he's at 40%. That one. Wait, so when do you think you say you think Mahito hit it at the as soon as he hit the Black Flash? Who's the
1 sec.
alright. Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, what were you saying?
I said you say you think he brought us 120% as soon as he hit the Black Flash?
Um, that would be within reason because that's what it
But I
does. It's
thought he was at 10% before that because of
40.
whatchamacallit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm saying the Black Flash is what caused him to go a 120% potential, but that doesn't mean. Yeah, I'm just saying that's the trigger for the 120% thing. It doesn't mean he's actually at a full power. He's just at an increased potential because of the Black Flash. But I'm not saying he'd be at like a full power because of that Black Flash.
And this just is contingent off of their earlier point. The soul is equal to whatever the fuck you're saying. Soul is equal to power.
What is that?
I said it's
Yeah,
just
I will
contingent.
kinda. Yeah,
Could we go outside real quick and then come back to this in a second?
sure. What is his agreement?
Just whatever you were saying. I didn't understand what you were saying. But I
Okay.
didn't feedback. I don't remember what you were saying.
Yeah, Mahito, like whenever he gets stronger, he highlights that it's because he's like gotten a better understanding of his soul or reached a high level of his soul, and then further support of that, he verbatim says the shape of the body is contingent on your soul, and then Ghetto says the body is the soul and the soul is the body. So I think all these things, like if you take all these things into consideration, it's pretty evident that Mahito's strength would be kind of contingent on your soul, on his soul.
I thought Ghetto said the opposite of it.
No.
I'll just go look at what he said. I thought in that scene he was telling Mike he was wrong about his shit. I'll go check that.
Check down. He
Unless you
says
just
you
have it.
before the body, but the body is the soul, and the soul is the body.
Your scan is a little different, man. It's just black.
Okay. Can you send it?
Oh yeah, all my scans are black. Hold up. I'll be right back.
Sorry for letting myself up, but oh, he's not even here. I was about to say it's chapter 91, my bad.
Yeah, Teddy. It's chapter 92, faggot.
It's chapter 91. Why are you retarded?
It will not let me fucking see scans. It'll look like this.
Check chapter 91. That's where it's stated at.
Thank you. Okay. So Tom, are you just saying that every time he affects his soul. He's trying to get like an amp.
Wait, what did you say?
I said, are you saying every time he affects his soul, he's trying to get an amp or something?
Affects his soul. I mean, I'm saying that whenever he gets an amp, or whenever he gets weaker, he kind of correlates it to his soul. So he goes, "Oh, whenever he's like getting weaker, he's like, oh, my soul's at a 40%." And then when he gets stronger, and it reaches ISB form, which I don't think you disagree with being his strongest form. He goes, "I have a true understanding of my soul." So I'm saying like there's always like this correlation between his power and his soul.
I think there can be some, yeah. But I think the Yuji thing is just this
Wait,
like
chill a second.
body or
Chill a
like the
second.
only way to damage him is his soul.
Wait, chill a
So
second. We can get to that later if we bring it up again. But I'll say this much
that's the
about
point
the
you just
power
said
thing.
though.
Huh?
Because I'm addressing the first point you just said though.
Yeah, I know. But you said something before that, which was that you think there's some correlation. I'm saying I think there's full correlation. I'll get to why there is. Um,
Or
sure, wait, and yeah, we can just get into your response after this. Just repeat it in case you forget. But sure. So I'm just saying, Ghetto verbatim says the soul is the body, and then Mahito says body is contingent on the soul, so it's dependent on this thing. And then the character corroborates it and says it is that thing. So you know what I mean? There is like a direct, like one-to-one correlation there.
no, man, you don't have to repeat it. I get what you're saying. But I think that the way that they're saying it, because the scene that happened is that what is it called? Ghetto, despite being like dead or whatever, or like only his soul. I forgot how Kenjaku explained it. He like reached out despite like Kenjaku taking over his body. So he's saying that he thinks that this is this via that. But I don't think that's a power
Stop,
correlated
your
thing. It's
mic is
just what
so
you're trying to say,
muffled. I don't know what you're saying.
bro. That's why I needed my headphones. So I can't find them. Can you hear me now? Let's speak louder.
A bit better. Even.
I said that in that scene, that's when like Ghetto reached out to Kenjaku or whatever, and that's why he like stated that. So you trying to correlate the power? I don't see where the correlation of
That's
power is
not a
coming from.
defeater. That is not a defeater.
I'm not trying to defeat what you're saying, Tom.
Yeah,
I'm
Frostyy,
saying
I
you're.
understand.
Can I say what I'm saying?
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, you're saying you see the scene. You're saying that the body is the soul, and you're saying that's in relation to power. So if the soul is X and the body is X, I'm saying that in the scene it was not. I don't think it was power related. So I still need you to show me that.
Wait. So what do you think he means when he says body here?
When he says the body is the soul, like Kenjaku's, what is it called? Like Ghetto's body is just what he said. I don't. What do you mean?
Yeah, right. So if we take it like face value, what he says, body, his physical, like the thing he uses to fight, his body
Yeah,
is the same as his soul, the soul thing. So if you want to say, oh, this just means like, oh, this just means blah blah blah, I'm asking you like, how
but
is it
is it
any
not?
different from how I'm interpreting it?
I'll let you finish. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying,
I'm
is
just
it
saying,
not just talking about the body's memories or the body's past? I don't know what you call that. But it's just talk because
um,
what Gojo did is he tried to provoke Ghetto, and then Ghetto like reached out. And I think that's
I
based
don't
off like
think
the body's past or like past experiences. It's not a general like thing like how you're trying to say it.
I'll say this much. Even if you think, okay, Ghetto's just like talking about the memories or whatever, I just think it's like a random specification. I don't think these are mutually exclusive, and I think my interpretation makes even more sense to be the case alongside yours, even if yours is true. Which is Kenjaku just talking to Mahito about Mahito's theory being the body being contingent on his soul. So then that's a topic, right? He's talking about the
I thought
contingency.
Mahito's theory was that wasn't Mahito's theory that the body came before the soul or the soul came before the body, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and then he's saying, do you
Yeah,
know, like
how does that
what that
align with
theory
what
led
you're
to?
saying?
Yeah, the theory led to the conclusion that the body, since the soul came first, the body must be contingent on it. Thus, the body shaped around the soul. Ghetto just says no, they're the same thing. He doesn't disagree with Macho's theory, but the way he's reaching the conclusion, he just says, okay, they're
Wouldn't
the same thing.
wouldn't the word "no" being implemented in the statement mean that he does disagree?
He
I
disagrees
thought
with
the
the
scene was
idea.
him telling Mahito that your theory might be wrong, and then Mahito like says at the end it could be both or some like random shit. So I don't think they're agreeing with each other. Oh, the scan's finally loaded. I can read it now. Hold up.
No,
You heard what
Macho
you
isn't
said.
disagreeing with Ghetto.
No, I meant Ghetto was disagreeing with Mahito. Or at least that's what I thought. I'll just read it. I can see now. Yeah, he says, yeah, so Ghetto's telling him, like, your theory was, I think he's saying your theory was wrong. This is the actual theory. And then Mahito goes, does it have to be the same for everyone? And then it says some etc. So I don't think Mahito's, like, original theory was what you're saying.
Wait, repeat that?
I said, Mahito just says after, can it just be different for different people? Like, saying that these two things that they're saying are distinct. They're not the same. So that means that they're disagreeing with each other, and not what you're saying was that they're agreeing with each other. And
Yes,
that Ghetto's just
I
extrapolating on it.
I just don't think that addresses what I'm saying. Do you want to move on then?
But can you repeat what you're saying? Like, make sure.
Yeah,
You just said that Mahito's theory was that. I'm saying it's not.
I'm saying that is the way Mahito reached a conclusion, which is the body being contingent on your soul. The same conclusion he still believes, despite Ghetto's explanation. And then all Ghetto's disagreeing with him right now is that, okay, the body and the soul, one doesn't come before the other. They can just be the same thing, right? This is just a general thing. He just says a general thing. In context of Mahito's theory, he says, okay, they can just be the same thing, or they are just the same thing. This doesn't disagree with my interpretation. All this does is it says, okay, the way you're reaching the conclusion is wrong. This never says your conclusion is wrong. He never says, okay, the body and your soul is wrong. Those are completely different things. If anything, this further supports everything I'm saying, but, you know.
No, I don't. I just don't see where you're getting that from the page. But I think my other argument applies anyway. Yeah, we can move on.
Wait, what did you say at the end?
I said I think my other argument, what is it called, applies anyway. We can move on. And then before that, I said that I just don't see where you're getting that from.
That's not an argument.
What?
Wait, what do you mean by I don't see where I'm getting that from? I'm taking what's said in the statement. You add a random presupposition or a random like assumption with it, and I'm saying, okay, even if the assumption is
You're
true,
just giving me.
I'm questioning.
Yeah, you're just giving me your interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. I'm saying I think this is this. You're saying you think this is that. You're saying they're not disagreeing with each other by the wording. I'm saying they are. It's just equals. I'm just moving on. And then I said after that, my earlier argument does apply.
Okay, what's the earlier argument? Hold on, just a second.
Wait, real quick. What is your basis?
The basis being Kenjaku, Mahito, all these people having the same theory, and the part of theory disagrees with isn't the part of the conclusion, which is that the body's contingent on the soul, and Mahito still believing in that. And then again, the verbatim, if you just look at it word for word, like just the diction of it, it just verbatim says what I'm saying. And what you're doing, you're saying, okay, it's limited. You're drawing limited interpretation from this, trying to look at it from like solely the context of this one panel prior, which is the Geto Kenjaku thing, whereas I'm saying this is a general thing that supports everything else we've learned about the soul and the body's relation.
Yeah, okay. The basis thing she said was just you repeating your argument. It wasn't you giving you like more ground to your argument.
All right.
And then
what was your argument?
General thing. Can I find?
Go ahead, bro.
And the general thing, I'm just saying that it could just be this. You're adding on like extra shit. So I'm gonna go with what's stated, not your extra like assumptions, which you don't have a basis for.
I get what you're trying to do, but it doesn't. I'll just ask you this though. What was your like prior argument? You said there was another argument to defeat my thing. What was it?
I know you know what my other argument was. You were saying my other argument was the what is it called? It could just be the body's memories, not fucking
Oh yeah, I know. I heard that.
That's the next other.
What were you saying about Yuji though? You brought that up earlier, then we moved off it.
What about Yuji?
You said this was contradicted by something with Yuji. You never finished that.
Oh, I was asking you what is your if I was asking you if like it stated they're at 120% power, but his soul's at 10% or whatever. Then how are you saying that the soul then like power equal?
If you're saying
the
10% and 120%. Okay, never mind. I'm tripping. I thought you were talking about something else. But okay, if you're talking about the Black Flash thing and them like unlocking a 120%, of this 10%, what's it called? You understand that this 120% of their 10% UG, this is just a byproduct of his creator's energy.
You said what?
This is the vibe. Like their soul and their potential are different. They didn't say, okay, my soul is at this percentage right now. They said my potential is at 120%, but my soul and their body can still be at a 10%. That's completely fine. This is
But
a
it says I'm
distinct.
bringing out 120%. When you bring out your potential, you're bringing out latent power that you could have had in the future. So when you bring that out, you're accessing that power, correct?
Look at the denotation for potential. Let's look at the definition.
You send it because I'm
Yeah,
not on my phone.
potential definition. It's okay. This is just what I'm saying the whole time.
This is disgusting, bro.
It's the capability for it to turn into something in the future. That's all.
Yeah, if I'm bringing out my latent power, my future power, I'm bringing out 120% of my potential power. Then I'm accessing it, correct?
They said they brought out their 120% potential. So they brought out in the sense that they've unlocked it, right? They have a higher potential now. Why does they brought out mean they're having a usage, or they're currently using a 120% of not only just 40%, but of their 100%? That's just a bunch of assumptions.
But the 40% thing, that's not. I'm not. You haven't agreed to that. You're just adding that up. But
I'm just saying.
what's the reason for highlighting that? Like, can I see this game? All right, I already sent it earlier. But now all three have brought out 120%. But it just doesn't. You're saying they now have higher potential than they did before?
They all now have
I don't
higher
think you would use the
potential.
phrase they brought out 120%.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I feel like you would word that differently. What do you mean?
Okay, wait. The last bit you said, where'd you get that from? Like, what'd you say? So lost.
Where'd I get what part from?
The last thing you said were about the potential thing.
I said potential a couple of times, but what are you talking about? You want to
Oh my
repeat what I
god,
said?
did you read yourself Frostyy? Damn.
That's what I was asked. All I said was I don't think the word brought out would be used there. And
Yeah.
that was it. That's all I remember.
Yeah, you could.
What's the last part of it?
You can think that. But again,
You think it makes more?
you're
That's just
dissertive.
not how wording works. But what?
I don't think that's what the word brought out doesn't have to mean. Oh, okay. There's in usage of it. Brought out could just be okay. You have this asset now. This doesn't mean you're actively using this asset. And I think it's further corroborated by. I think this, not even that. Not even that, dude. Even if this was true, which I'm not going to grant you, they could be bringing out a 120% of their 40%. This still doesn't disagree with me.
But wait, that's just the argument you have to go into. I'm just talking about this right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying even if I grant you this still doesn't help your overall pace. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm saying we can just go into that point. Okay, yeah, I just don't think I said the term brought out is fucking used. I don't know where you're getting that from. You just showed me like I don't know why brought out leads to we gained more potential. Because I don't think you're bringing. That sentence doesn't make sense. I'm not a formulator.
Brought out is just like brought out. I think the best. When I look up the definition, it's just like to develop or to make something apparent. So you have developed a higher ceiling of power, or you've made apparent that you have a higher ceiling of power because of using the Black Flash. Where in this definition does it say?
You send me what you're talking about. Send me another sentence.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Effectively develop
Wait,
something.
Milky, are you not actively listening? Okay. We can conclude like a little bit after this on this bit at least, so that it doesn't go on forever. But yeah, that's the definition. And again, I'll just read it off if you want. It's just to make apparent, and then the second definition is to effectively develop something such as a quality. So it's like to develop something, optimist and apparent, none of these like go alongside your understanding of brought out.
And then Tyler, repeat what you're saying, because you can just search up brought out or bring out in a fucking sentence. This doesn't say what you're
Wait, what
saying.
did you say,
So
Bob?
repeat what you're interpreting it as. I said, if you just search up bring out or brought out in a sentence, it just doesn't say what you said. But can you repeat what you said?
It does say what I said. I said there's a definition to make apparent or to develop. He's developing his ability to reach a higher power ceiling, or he's making apparent that he can reach a higher power ceiling via the Black Flash. Where in this does it say he must have to, at this moment, use the peak of his potential or anything of
I'm
that
just
sort?
going off brought out in a sentence. So
Yeah, Frost, I get that's how you use brought out, but I'm just saying the way it's defined or the way it's used in this case. Again, I'd agree with you in like a general setting. I wouldn't use it this way, but that's how it's used here, and that's how I interpret it here, and the definition supports it. So
I'll just search up what you said. Well, no, it doesn't. You can put it that way because the definition's vague. But I'll see real quick.
what?
Brought out. Did you search up bring? Yeah, bring out.
Yeah, I started brought out just a verbatim, like word for word, what we're discussing.
And then, okay, so when it says be to effectively develop, which means to grow, do you not think that means like a present tense thing, like it's actually happening?
Yeah, to grow your potential. Yeah, in this case.
So you're just trying to, okay.
So he's
Bring out the
growing his
color.
potential.
Just look at it like it's telling you how you use a word in a damn sentence at the bottom. I don't are really arguing about this. Unless you're still trying to say it could be used in my way or your way when that's just not what the site you're even using says.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm just showing you how brought out is used or bring out.
No,
As
we
your
see,
own site.
we see bring out, which is in present tense. So obviously, that's going to agree with you. I'm talking
But
past tense.
Colin, that's the definition you sent. You sent the definition of bring out.
No, I think. Wait, let me see.
It says bring out that time.
When you're disabled.
No, my bad, bro. I said brought out. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. In a present tense, I'd agree with you. What I'm generally contending right now isn't like obviously I'm establishing a definition, but in the way they're using it in these present term sentences would obviously be different by the way I'm trying to use it or the series is using it in a past tense. You're giving me present tense examples in order to support what you're saying, whereas obviously what I'm saying is going to sound different.
Wait, repeat what you said, my bad. I was reading the fucking.
Yeah.
What the fuck you said?
Yeah. Okay. I was just saying it was just the past tense. So it's different.
Oh, so you want to go back? Yeah, I was about to I said, can we go on to that point too? So you said you think that they brought out 120% as soon as you pop the Black Flash, right?
That's what the Black Flash does. Yeah, it's a 1.2 times amp.
And then what happened after that to make Mahito go down by 110%?
Yeah, Frosty, that's the problem. I'm saying he could go at a 120% or 1.2 times amp of his 40%, and then after the Black Flash, or
Oh,
after
so
he
you just
gets
want
out
to
of
get
the
into
zone,
that?
huh?
You just want to get into that?
That's what we've been talking about.
Oh, it's a 40% thing just based off you being right on the body and the soul shit?
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. We can just conclude now.
Okay,
I don't think...
yeah, we can just move on. If I want the earlier
I want to
point,
conclude. Do you want to conclude, or do you just want me to go ahead?
I didn't say that much, so yeah, you can go.
Wait, what did you say? Oh my god, your mic is bad.
I said I didn't say that much. I'm trying to look at my headphones again, but I said I didn't say that much, so you can just go.
Okay. Yeah, Milky. So for the first thing, I just grabbed like a bunch of different things. So there's Mahito highlighting every time he gets stronger that okay, my soul's at like a newer level or my soul's at a lower level whenever he's like performing worse. I give the example of the ISB. And then the Nobara fight where he goes, "Oh yeah, that girl took a lot out of me," when he's like performing worse. And then I also said, okay, that's one thing, and I think the souls is constantly like used as a highlighting metric. Maito has this theory that the body and the body is contingent on your soul, and in order to reach this conclusion, he says, okay, the soul and the body, one has to come first. Kenjaku disagrees. He says, okay, the body and the soul are the same thing. These reach effectively the same conclusion, by the way, Milky, because he keeps saying, oh yeah, Kenjaku disagrees with him. I really disagrees with the way he's reaching that conclusion, but the conclusion remains the same. X dependent on Y, soul dependent on body, body dependent on soul, body and soul same. It's literally the same thing. They don't disagree with each other, the conclusions. And then on the second bit, he gets into like, oh, he could use like 120%. Where is the 120% coming from? I say the 120% is the black flash thing. So he's at a 120 potential. We get into definitions of bring out and brought out. And then obviously, after that, he goes, okay, but there's examples in which bring out is being used differently. I'm saying that examples apply to present tense. When in past tense, I highlight definition, it says the definition still works in past tense. So then with that, we can come to the conclusion that brought out would just be like a potential thing. And then again, I said, even if his argument regarding present past tense is true, at best he gets, Maito is drawing 120% right now of his 40%. So he gets nowhere. Like absolutely nowhere. But yeah.
Absolutely nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere.
Milky, on the first point, I just used like all the Tanwin's observations and his interpretations, whatever the fuck he was interpreting from the statement. And I was just telling him what I interpreted from it. When he said that when I said they were like an equal interpretation, we're just both looking at the scan and interpreting different things. He told me that this has a basis. I asked for the basis. All he did was just repeat his argument, and then I called that out in the fucking recording. If you just go back, so on that point, I definitely just think he lost. I just wasn't interpreting the way he did, and he just showed me like no extra proof on the weakening thing being correlated like to soul and like strength or soul in his body. Like when he takes damage to a soul, it's like him getting weaker and shit like that. I already told him that it's just how you damage Mike. So I don't have a problem with that, but you can't apply it to like a general sense or overall like he's trying to. On the brought out potential thing, I just don't think Tom was like right on the way that you used that fucking like word in a sentence. I definitely think that it was mine. I think that even if I did lose that point, my earlier argument still applies because if he lost that soul and body shit, then he just lost the whole point. And then on the definition thing, he just sent the wrong definition. He said bring out, not brought out. That's it. And where does this lead into, Tom?
Skepticism spam. I was just gonna ask you if that kind of like invalidates all the stuff Todo has. So then I just kill Choso over.
What do you mean?
Because if you can't skill Todo to Mahito or Yuji, then you don't have any Todo skilling. Except Hanami. And then I was gonna say, okay, Choso just has better feats against a stronger Yuji. Or a better established Yuji at least.
Are you trying to say Yuji's weakened in the Mahito fight?
His souls are 10%?
Okay. Well, I don't think that makes sense, but yeah, that's fine. Do you want to just leave it there?
Like the entire debate?
My scale is just 120% Todo to 120% Yuji over base Yuji relative to FRSS Choso.
Okay,
And if your argument is just...
so you'd be fine with Choso above or relative to Yuji, and then Yuji above a weakened Yuji if I got that through? That's all, it's dependent on Yuji over weakened Yuji, right?
Actually, no, can I say I was right on the 120% thing? I did win that. Why is the amp Yuji below the Choso fight one?
What'd you say?
Why is Yuji and the Mahito fight below the Choso fight one?
Using the Mahito. Because you stay on 10% and he's got a more mental nerve.
Why? Huh?
Yeah, he just got him more mental nerves.
No, I'm saying if I win the point that he's at 120% and did get amped, are you just leaving it that you think you just won the earlier point, or are you going to explain why you think Yuji's above? And
so if you got this is a full power And then Yuji over. Yeah, I think Choso still would scale to like a stronger Yuji. Do you agree that Choso does better against Naya than Yuji does?
Like circumstantially, yeah.
Why is it circumstantial?
The way he beat him was just because Naruto, just because Naya was
That's
at a
fine.
disadvantage.
That's fine. Naya literally like comes up to Yuji and just slams him, and then Choso first blocks him and then is reacting to him constantly with FRFS.
When? Are you talking about the second fight or the first one?
There's only one Choso. I mean, there's only one Naya and Choso fight.
No, they interact once when they first meet, and then the second time. So are you talking about the
Yeah,
first
he
or second?
uses FRSs in the second instance only. Something when he's
Oh, I
FRS,
didn't hear
he
you
uses
say that
the
first.
second. Yeah.
He like can perceive them. Yeah, is that
No,
the
no,
argument?
he's about to block him. Like he tracks him. He moves his arm up in response to Naya. Naya just counterattacks, so it doesn't work out.
So you can perceive and move his body in reaction to now you're running or
Yeah,
standing beside him.
sure. He's gaining more acceleration. We see Naya gets faster the more he moves around.
No, but I think now he's in a stopping motion because he's about to attack.
No, he's running. What do you think? It's like he ran towards him just to stop and then punch him.
That's how you do a punch. Yeah, unless you're saying he's gonna run with the punch into him.
Yeah, that's fine, but I don't think he can stop for like an extended period of time. Just stop and like lose his acceleration.
I don't know why you keep saying acceleration. Can you show me what you're talking about?
Yeah,
By
sure.
the way, I'm just saying exactly how he did it when they first interacted. He used his speed to get up on them, and then when he got up on them, he just bopped them in the face. And then when they tried to attack him, he just moved away. So unless you're saying like he's gonna accelerate, like do what he did to Maki or some shit, and run with the punch, which I don't think he's doing. But
Hold on, let me just get you a number.
sure.
Okay, what did you first ask for?
I asked you, I don't remember. I asked you to show me the reaction. You said Choso was like about to
Yeah.
attack. I don't remember moving his arms, but then that, and then I just want you to explain why it's a feat because I don't think now he was doing anything that should give Choso like a feat.
Yeah, it makes sense. This is the part I'm talking about. So we see him like tracking Naya, and then after he tracks Naya, but again, the tracking thing something Yuji can't do, by the way. But after he tracks Naya, um, Naya's about to attack him. Like we see Naya turn down, like coming in for a punch, and then right that in that moment, Choso puts his arms up. Naya just counterattacks.
So Choso can throw out an attack before now he decides to throw out one.
Yeah, I'm not saying like he's like on his level or like above. I'm just saying he's at least like low end relative because he's able to at least put it up in action before Naya can complete his
I can
movement.
it's
Something
fine.
Yuji can't do.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah, like something you can't do.
that's fine. And then the Choso Yuji can't perceive now he is. It's fine. I don't think it has something to do with combat speed. And then going to
Why?
like the first
What?
fight. Actually, no, I do want to address that. What?
Why don't you think that's an indication of speed?
It's just perception.
Yeah, right. Is that not a factor into reaction?
It is, but like Talman, like Sasuke versus Lee, if your body isn't fast enough, it doesn't matter. You can perceive Yuji well. I don't care about that. I'm saying
Okay,
if
okay.
Yuji throws a punch and Choso can't put up a
That
block in time, I don't
doesn't prove
care.
your point though. The Sasuke and Lee instance was only because one of these characters was so much above that your perception doesn't matter if you can physically react. In this case, if you can't even perceive them and someone else can perceive them, these are completely different situations.
All you did was repeat both arguments and then say it's a
What?
different situation. You didn't explain anything. So
Oh,
I'm saying in
okay.
the lead, I'll just say it again. In the Sasuke versus Lee thing, Sasuke could perceive Lee, yes, but his body cannot react. It could just be the same for Choso. It's not hard to understand. You really disagree with that? That Choso needs reaction, like body movement on par with his
That
perception?
may be the other
No,
way
I
around.
agree with that. Huh?
That may be the other way around how you explained it, Frosty.
What are you talking about?
Like Sasuke's body is fast enough, but his eyes aren't.
Sasuke's bat. Huh?
I'll
No,
grab it.
Teddy, what?
No, Teddy is the opposite.
Maybe wrong. I'll just grab it.
I think his body isn't fast enough. That's what Lee highlights.
Yeah, he's just mentioning perception. But Frostyy, before Teddy distracted me, what was your prior argument?
For Teddy. You
Never
said what?
mind.
Yeah, what was your prior argument?
I don't.
With
I
the
was just
body.
saying. I was just saying. I really don't see how you disagree with it. You just need reaction speed, like body movement, to be on par with your perception to react to something.
You need your reaction. Um. Oh, okay. Yeah. If you want to say, oh, I don't see why your reaction needs to be like on par. If your reaction is something, because there's like stages to like your reaction speed. You have to first react to what you're seeing, right, and then perceive it. Then you move and then attack it. Yuji fails the first step and does it significantly worse than Choso does. That's a part of reaction.
Wait, my bad. I wasn't listening. What?
Yeah, I was saying, you reacting to an action, it has components, right? One of the components is you tracking and perceiving it. That is a component which Choso does significantly better than Yuji does. That's a step one.
All right, my bad. Stop. My bad. Okay. All right, my bad. What? Step one of reacting is perception. What?
Step one is reacting and perception.
Step one. You said that
Yeah.
right. Step one of reaction is perception. That's what you said.
Yeah, you reacting to an object, you have to see it first. So, in a conventional setting, you'd have to see it first.
Yeah.
That's step one. And then Choso's duty can't even do step one. Choso's at a point where he can move his arms accordingly. You don't see like a big difference in their like speed.
It's a big difference in their perception. Yeah. I said I
Wait.
disagree with that.
Oh, okay. Again, I can emphasize on the perception thing more, but if you don't disagree with the overall thing where I'm getting at, which is Choso's faster than Yuji, why are we still on this? We can just wrap it up now.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was here. And then because Tommy, you
Yeah,
keep.
because we conclude the
Unless
debate.
I'm just. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. No, because I still have one more point. Because unless I'm just hearing you wrong, every time I ask you like, why is it like a big difference? You always highlight perception and nothing else. So it doesn't really matter.
Again, I can explain this, but if you don't disagree with the overarching argument, then it doesn't matter.
What is it called? Why do you think Yuji's at full power?
EA?
Yeah.
He says he's healed.
Todo said he's injured
Who?
by Choso. By Yuji and Choso.
No, Choso thinks he's injured, and Yuji says he's healed, or at least he's healing.
Yeah, healing.
Is it? Wait, can someone confirm in
But I
chat
don't
where
think he
healed or
said
healing?
that.
I think that
Choso
makes a
just
difference.
Choso just says, "Are you still injured?" or some shit. He says only in the spot where I get hit by Black Flash or some shit.
Wait, give me a sec, just. We agree to this, correct?
Yeah. Oh, and Chenner just said a difference over it. It says he isn't fully recovered. So
Where does it say?
It's just one more point after this.
No, he says he's good except for his gut, like where he got hit by the Black Flash. He just says good, like he's fine. And then the character you're skilling Todo too. That's like right after he takes the Black Flash to his gut. So if he's
I think pain is more effective over time than after when it's
what?
like first hit. I think pain worsens over time.
Why?
Bruising.
Sure.
Adrenaline.
Yeah, okay. To an extent, I'd agree with you, but in this case, if he's like healing, right? Obviously, he's like improving over time because it's been a bit. He's
Yeah.
got a hit all over his body, all over his body. He's is good everywhere else, but this bit. So he's gradually getting better, right? It's not like in a little bit. I agree. Like when you're bruising, it would be like pretty bad. But I'm saying overall, you slowly start to heal. I'm saying he's healed everywhere but that place. That means his
Hold
body is
up.
getting better.
How,
So
real quick, how far are you taking like good? Do you think you just saying good enough to fight, or like he's completely healed and everywhere? Well, obviously you're saying the second part, but I'm asking why you're more so taking it as that instead of just good enough to fight.
wait, what did you say?
Well, when he says good, I usually interpret, or like when I first saw it, I interpret that as good enough to fight. You're saying good as in he's healed in every spot, like he's not injured anymore except for the backflash spot.
He says, okay, when someone says, "How are you?" and you say you're good, you don't mean like, "Oh, I'm good enough to like function in my regular days." You just feel like, okay, you're good. You're just taking it at face value. That's just what it
Oh,
says.
it's like the third time you did that, bro. You just keep repeating this.
Frosty, what? Like, there's a verbatim like implication there, which he just says, "I'm good," except for one spot, and then Choso says you're healing. Like, even if it's like, oh, good enough to fight, Choso says he's healing, which is much better than fighting when you just took the attack, went down, and given your argument, it slowly get worse, and then again, this is the part where it's getting better because of Suguna's growth. So, like,
But
you get it,
why'd you
but
just add on that part? Why does Sukana's growth have any effect on? Actually, let's go on to the other shit. I'll just leave it
Choso
at
says it. Choso says it.
anyways. I'll just leave it at that. And then the last point, do you think the Yuta statement where he says that Yuji held back on him because he wanted to die? Or didn't know if he
Yeah,
wanted to die or not?
yeah. What about it?
Do you think that could also apply to Naifling?
No, but I'm saying right now he has like an uncertainty about like what he wants to do with his life. Whereas in the Mahito fight, he just saw like 5 people die like a few minutes ago. So I think unless you think people don't get better over time mentally, like we see his like
I'm just talking,
resolve like slowly,
talking about the
slowly come
Nalia
back
fight.
as the series progresses. Like he goes from like being in denial to accepting like he's a cog. So I think he's like coming more and more in terms with what happened. So I think it's significantly like less brutal now than it was at the start of the Mahito fight. Like his resolve.
I'm talking about the. Oh, my bad. I'm talking about the Nalia fight.
What about what did you say? What about the fight?
I'm saying, do you think he's at full power there?
Um, I don't know if he's at full power, but again, I think that version's still probably over the Mahito one.
Do you have evidence, or is that just your opinion?
That's just like what I've been arguing for the last 10 minutes, Frosty.
Why? Because of the soul shit?
No, because of the fingers.
Oh, you're being dead ass. Why? Okay, why do you think the fingers affect this? Whatchamacallit? Wait,
That's
no, I'm
totally
not.
gonna
Wait. But tell me what I'm talking about. You know what Yuta says, right?
happen. That he wants to die?
Yeah, he said he held back when fighting me because he was unsure if he wanted to live or die.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
I asked you, do you think that could apply to the Nalia fight and whether he's at full power or not? You brought up Sukuna's fingers.
I mean, the version in Naya fight would still be a version that I'm talking about. Yeah, it would be the same version, I guess, except for the fact I don't know if he's holding back, but it will be the same version. Yeah.
So he could be holding back.
Again, I don't know if he is. I think there's less reason to. Against Utah, it's Utah's job to exterminate him, or whatever. Um, Naya's just like trying to kill Megumi. So, you know.
It's not really dependent on Yuta. Or I mean the opponent, it's just Yuji. But
Wait.
yeah,
Why?
we can end up
Why?
because Yuji's the one holding back.
But we see Yuji's mental state. Whenever he's trying to protect someone he loves, he's willing to push himself more.
But isn't he doing that for Yuta too?
Who is he protecting except himself here?
He's trying to get to Megumi. He's trying to go protect Megumi, right?
He's trying to go protect Megumi. Yeah, that's fine, but he knows Yuta. Does he know Yuta's? Does he think Yuta's bad?
Yuta's coming at him with a sword trying to kill him, yeah.
But he has a jujutsu robe on.
What is that? What does that mean?
So he's working with the Jujutsu Society, and if he knows what Sukuna's rampage
Yeah,
did and the
Yuji knows
consequences of
that
it,
the Jujutsu Society is trying to kill him because he's whatchamacallit.
okay. So Yuji knows that if he dies, at least he died to someone who's capable and strong. So if anything were to happen, like let's say Naya then goes on a rampage and tries killing Megumi, there's someone there to protect him, which is Yuta.
Wait, repeat? What?
Okay, wait. You'd agree the Zenin family and the Jujutsu High, they have like a good relation because they can summon Naobito and stuff.
I don't. I'm pretty sure I saw some of the fanfic on why that happened. I don't know.
Okay, and then
I
I'm
don't
saying
remember reading that
if
though.
Megumi's next in line to be head, and then Yuta's someone capable, don't you Jujutsu High will be protecting the Zenin's head?
No.
What?
Why is he with Naya, who's trying to kill the Zenin head?
Wait. He's not with Naya. He's also attacking Yuji.
They just pull up together, and then one says I'm trying to kill Megami, and then one says I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah, I get that bit, but you said Yuji knows why Yuta's here.
You want me to show you that? I swear, I thought he just says it.
Wait, what says what?
That he's here to kill Yuji.
Yeah, no, I get that bit, Frosty. Oh my god. Frosty, I'm not disagreeing with you on any of that. All I'm saying is if the Zenin families had died because of the Shibuya incident for which he was summoned by Jujutsu High, and then they're getting another head, don't you the Jujutsu High are gonna protect the new head instead of, just ignoring the fact that their head died while fighting for them?
I just said that Yuta pulled up with Naya. I don't know if Yuji's taking that as this guy's going to protect Megami, which is what you're saying.
No. I'm saying if he's wearing a Jujutsu coat, he'd know he's with the Jujutsu Society. And then in response to that, you verbatim said, okay, he knows that they're out to kill him. Jujutsu Society is out to kill him. He literally,
Yeah.
Yuji's so confident in Yuta's strength, he verbatim just goes, oh, I think you can fight Sukuna. Like, he's confident this is like someone who's capable enough to like fight high level beings such as Sukuna. So I don't see why he wouldn't be like confident enough to try to protect Megumi.
We can just conclude, bro.
What did you say?
So we can just conclude.
Okay. I don't really care to conclude on this. It's pretty self-evident. Actually, sure. I can conclude. I guess I'll do it first again. Look, you're here. Okay. Yeah, Milky. I was just arguing this. I said, okay, Choso just above this Yuji. And then I say, okay, Choso's able to do more against Naya, which is, for one, move his arms in accordance to Naya's running. I show him running around, and they're about to punch him. And then that's still significantly more than Yuji can do. Yuji just gets blitzed. Like, he is perception blitzed. And then he says, why does him not perceiving him mean that, oh, okay, that he's, like, slower? I said, perception is, like, it's like a step-by-step process. If Choso's doing the step one correct, then Yuji can't even do step one. And if Choso's doing even step two, which is moving his arms according to his movements, then that's significantly better physical feat, because he's moving his arm, than anything Yuji does, right? And then I get into the fact that, okay, this is a stronger Yuji than the one that was fighting Mahito, because that Yuji is fresh off a Black Flash. He says, okay, damage can get worse over time. I said, no, it's getting better over time now, because I agree it can get worse for a certain bit, but then it starts eventually getting better. I think the part starts getting better because Choso directly said because the fingers are growing, Yuji's just doing better. He never like really attacks the fingers thing. He thought I was joking, I think. But the Choso the finger statements there where he's healing and he said, okay, I'm good. And except that bit, even if that bit is not fully healed, as long as it's healing, which we know, it would still be better from when he took the initial Black Flash directly, like right after that. I think this is a much more healed up Yuji. And then this bit, he goes, okay, do you think Yuji, I don't know why this matters, but he says, oh, do you think Yuji is holding back against Naya and Yuta? I said, he knows Yuta's like from Jujutsu High. I said, I point out that he's wearing a Jujutsu High coat, and the Jujutsu High would feel a sense of responsibility because their head died while working for Jujutsu High because they called him and they have like good relation because they can like call on each other. Frosty didn't mind that bit where I established that. And then I said, okay, since that happened, now this would probably protect the new head, right? The guy who's gonna be head, who's Megumi. And then if Yuta, someone Yuji believes in, he thinks Yuta's on the level 15 finger Sukuna. If he thinks that Yuta killed him, he still knows there's a powerful asset who's there to protect Megumi. So, yeah, and then Naya was just trying to kill Megumi instead of like working for Jujutsu. He was just outright there to just kill Megumi. So he obviously like actually tried to kill Naya because I said whenever he's like fighting for his friends, he gets way stronger. But
Yeah, I
not
don't
stronger.
know what else said. But
Go ahead.
that's it. Melky, the first point was the body is the mind thing, right? I mean the body's the soul thing, right? Oh, okay. Then, yeah. What time was it? And the second point was the definition point, Melky? No, what was the second point?
What did you say the first point was?
You said the first point was the body's the mind thing.
The second bit was the percentage of your soul. Melky, that'd be like the percentage of your soul and like the relation between the percentages and shit.
The second one was the percentage.
Yeah. So even if you win the first bit, which is like the body and the soul are it's like a 1-to-1 thing, as long as like your soul's percentage is low, like the thing you're finding, and like my whole point with that was, oh, he's like way weaker now because he's finding a lower percentage. If I win that bit, then I'd win him drawing 120% of his 40% self. That was what I was saying the whole time.
What?
Oh, okay. You can just go recording later.
Wait, what did you say the first point was?
Are you asking me or Milky?
You.
The body and the soul being one and the same. And then the second bit was what potential he's unlocking. I said he's unlocking the potential of his 40% self. He said, oh, he's like fighting at, he's brought out, he's bringing
Wait, I'm
out, like,
lost. If you don't win strength equals soul, then how does that argument still apply?
because I'm creating a distinction between your potential and your level, because I said the second bit, I didn't just say soul equals strength. I'm saying that okay, they can still have a relation onto each other, because Mahito highlights that like whenever he's weakened, he blames it on the soul. So
Oh, I already responded to that. Alright.
Frostyy, how does it feel losing the Tanwin?
Great.